You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Is it tech message? I'm to your company too, Mr. Specialty. I just want one pack. No, not one pack.
What will you do without freedom?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Yeah, folks, I don't know if you've seen the news coming out of Philadelphia recently with the 2 nights of looting that had taken place down there earlier this week. Basically, for those that you haven't seen it, number one, I will put these videos in my description box at the bottom of the video. You go ahead and check those out. So what ended up happening was on 2 separate nights, there were large mobs of people ransacking and looting businesses. All right. And I've got to imagine that these businesses that were looted, those folks that own those businesses are probably out of business now, all right, because of all the money they lost. And guys, we're seeing these events take place across the country, all right? This has become a phenomenon where you've just got mobs of folks, broad daylight, nighttime, doesn't matter what time of day, just gathering together and just stampeding into these businesses and wiping them clean. All right. And in my eyes, guys, to me, this is just a preview of what's to come. All right. And what do I mean by that? And why do I say that? Well, if you look at the economy right now of this country, all right, inflation through the roof, our spending out of control, all right? And that's just one aspect. You look at our problem at the southern border, all right? Our invasion, okay? We've got hundreds of thousands of people every month being led inside this country. We don't know the backgrounds of these people. Don't know where they come from. They come from various different countries, all right? We don't know where they're going, you know, other than when we see the news, this, you know, they're being bussed to places like New York because, you know, they're sanctuary cities. But a lot of these folks are just, we don't know where they're ending up. And the problem, guys, is with this invasion and these mobs of people going into these businesses and robbing them, very little's being done about it, okay? You know, because our hands are tied because of dirty laws and dirty policies, all right? And that's just my opinion, you know? And, well, what do you mean by dirty, Matt Outdoorsman? Well, I'll tell you what. You know, let's say I work at a Home Depot and a group of 20 to 30 individuals enter that store and start taking everything off the shelves. Me being the type of person I am, I try to stop these folks from doing it. I intervene, you know. I might tackle a couple of them, put them on the ground, and attempt to stop them from committing a crime. Then the company turns around and fires me because I violated one of their policies. All right, that's what I mean about dirty policies, guys. All right, and we're seeing that. All right, we're seeing employees of these businesses losing their jobs because they're trying to step in and do the right thing and stopping a crime from taking place. All right? Or maybe I don't have to work at the store. All right? Maybe I'm just a shopper at the store. Right? I'm walking through the parking lot. I'm getting ready to enter the Home Depot. All right? And I'm just using Home Depot for an example because I've seen videos on the internet. It could be any business. All right, we're seeing it with Home Depot, we're seeing it with Target, Walmart, and a lot of these places are closing up shop. But anyway, let's say I'm just me, I'm walking in, I see all these folks running out of the store with stolen merchandise, right? And I try to stop one of these folks from getting away. All right, what happens to me as just a law-abiding man? All right, well, I'm probably going to get arrested for it, all right, because we're seeing that happen too. We're seeing Good Samaritans getting punished for being a Good Samaritan, all right? So the good people getting locked up and the bad people getting away with it, okay? And the bad people know it, all right? So this is why they are doing it, because they're being enabled to do these things, to commit these crimes. All right, folks. And as a result, these businesses are closing their doors and they're taking their business elsewhere. They're taking themselves out of these cities, these lawless cities, all right, and they're moving to safer areas to conduct their business, and rightfully so. So what kind of problem is that going to create in these cities? Well, it's going to create this vacuum. All right. Well, what do you mean, Matt Dawson? What kind of vacuum? Well, you're not going to have these businesses. You're not going to have these grocery stores in these cities any longer. You're not going to have these department stores or, these big places like Home Depot and Target and all that stuff. And what are these folks going to do? What are they going to do to eat, according to some of these politicians, because, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, politician out of New York, she pretty much just came out and said it. These people have to eat. They're starving. All right, those are her words. All right, so I'm just saying, I'm taking what I see on the news, and I'm passing it along. Yeah. All right. So what are these folks going to do when these businesses leave? All right. Well, they're going to adapt. They're going to resort to other types of crime. And what kind of crime we talking about? Well, we could talk about carjackings, all right? You're probably going to see an uptick in carjackings. Normal, everyday folks just getting mugged on the street and getting taken for what they have, all right? You might even see these people, because they're so brazen now to commit these crimes in a lot of instances, broad daylight, and, a highly traffic area. They might even move to some of the smaller towns and the suburbs, right? Places where these businesses have moved, what's stopping them from, them all getting in their cars and, driving a caravan down to, small town USA or a neighborhood near you. And now they're looting their businesses in those small towns or those suburban areas, right? What's stopping them from just going to the suburbs and starting to kick people's doors in, and conducting home invasions, right? Can that happen? Oh, that can't happen, man, outdoors. Well, who could have imagined what we're seeing now happen, These mobs of folks just walking in, running through shopping malls, raiding these businesses like fucking pirates, all right? Who would have imagined that would be allowed to happen in 2023 America? Yet we're seeing it, aren't we? All right, so don't say, oh, no, they're not going to come to the suburbs and start, and conducting home invasions and kicking people's doors down and, stealing all their belongings. All right. I don't know. I mean, we might not see it to the point where we see it happening in businesses, because what's the difference between a business and a home? Well, a lot of people own guns, right? you know? So maybe these criminals are thinking about that, and that might deter them from doing it. But maybe it won't, you know? Maybe there is some folks out there that don't think of that, and they're just going to do it anyway, you know? So, and maybe some of those folks will find out the hard way when they try to kick down the wrong door. I'm just saying, you know, anything could happen. But I do see, as a result of these businesses pulling out of these cities and going elsewhere, I see these folks adapting, right? These criminals adapting and committing other acts of the same nature, just in a different way. And I just illustrated that, and that's just my opinion. But yeah, you know, I did say this is a preview of what's to come, you know, and it's a preview because what we're seeing, you know, like I illustrated here in Philadelphia, what's happened, you know, what's happened in Chicago and the rest of these cities, you know, Los Angeles. As our country continues its collapse, because we are in a collapse right now, guys, make no mistake about it. All right, it's going to get worse. We are going to see this everywhere. And, you know, I keep saying we're like one event away from just a societal collapse where we're just going to see this chaos everywhere we look. You know, and what event is that going to be? I don't know. All right. You know, I can speculate, you know. We know that the 2024 elections are coming back up soon. And with that, you know, we're starting to see the COVID come back. You know, that's ironic, right? You know, the last time COVID was at its peak was back in 2020. And in 2020, we had national elections, presidential elections. I'm just saying, you know. And all of a sudden, we're starting to see that ramp back up in the news. All right. And they might try to lock us down again. And how are people going to react to that? You know, are they going to do what they did before and comply with the lockdowns and the measures that are going to be put in place surrounding these lockdowns? I don't know. I know one thing. I know everybody's a fucking badass until it's time to do badass shit. You know, everybody's an outlaw until it's time to do outlaw shit, you know, and that's just my opinion. You know, I'm the type of guy that, you know, I stand up for what I believe in. I speak up. I stick to my guns. And I go all the way with it, you know. And have I gotten punished in the past because of that? Yeah, I have. But I'm not going to go through life pretending to be somebody I'm not to, you know, tickle somebody's ears, you know, because, you know, they're all about their woke agenda and their policies, and I'm just not going to conform to that. That's just not me. So I will continue to stand up for what I believe in, do what's right, and just keep on preparing and be ready for what's to come, you know, because it's coming. You can believe that. Anyway, folks, hey, let me know what you think in the comments. All right. Thank you for watching.